Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Far Lands or Bust. This is episode 232, where we are walking to the Far Lands, raising money for Child's Play charity. Along the way, we are in the deluxe hidey hole, a throwback to the first proper episode of us walking to the Far Lands, episode 11, where our hidey hole had a door on it. So we did that in the last episode, because that was over 2 years ago. So let's grab Wolfie and continue on our journey. Come on, Wolfie, out the door. Oh, can wolves... wolves don't understand doors in Minecraft 1.7.3, so let's get Wolfie to spawn. And then we'll have to shut the door. There we go. All right, guy. Let's do that. I think we're all right on our inventory. Yep, we're all set. So, let's shut the door. So long, hidey hole. And let's continue. Where are you at? There you are, Wolfie. All right, let's continue. And let me remind you that we are still raising money for Child's Play charity over at farlandsorbust.com. Right now, we are at $21,694. We're gaining about $100 per episode, which is pretty cool. I didn't take the time to do the math beforehand, but I don't know what that equates to how long we're going to reach our $100,000 goal for this season. I know, Wolfie, we're trying to get going. Oh, I already had a boat. Oh well, now we have 2 boats. Woof indeed. Woof indeed. Kablunk. And in the boat we go. All right, cool. So yeah, like I said, $21,694. You can do that at farlandsorbust.com using the Child's Play charity official widget on the homepage. I would appreciate that. All that money goes to helping get toys, books, games, video games to kids in hospitals around the world. You can go to childsplaycharity.org to learn more about it. There's even a list and a map of all the hospitals that they are associated with and that participate in the program, and it's just a great cause overall for gamers to get involved with, and they've been very supportive of Far Lands or Bust. You can see on their homepage, we are a platinum sponsor, all thanks to you guys, all the donations we've gotten over the past 2 years is amazing. Amazing indeed. Yeah, and speaking of donations and donators, there is a little, when you do make a donation, there's a little comment box that you can add a comment or ask a question or just say, here's my donation and blah, blah, blah. I've gotten a few questions. I always answer questions in Far Lands or Bust. Let's see. Hoot Lord asked, if you were magically transported to any fictional world or setting, which one would you prefer and why? Or which would you least like to be in? Fictional world or setting? Well, in the last few episodes I mentioned I don't read as often as I should, so I'm fully aware that I may be lacking in the knowledge of what fictional settings I could be participating in by not reading too much. I don't know. Minecraft would be kind of interesting to deal with in real life. I don't know. That might be kind of cool. I seem to be doing just fine in it right now. It's kind of weird. I really like, I didn't read the books, but the movies, the Lord of the Rings movies, that's technically New Zealand, so I guess I could technically visit New Zealand, and that's kind of on the list of places to visit, if not for what the Lord of the Rings movies certainly serve as a very good tourist brochure for New Zealand. So maybe that. A lot of people, I'm sure, would assume like a Star Wars or something like that. I don't know. Maybe. And that's maybe, I mean, I'm not too big. I mean, I like Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars fan. Lesser so of a Star Trek fan. I watched Battlestar Galactica a little bit, the rebooted series, and, you know, general sci-fi-ness in movies and what's the word I'm looking for? Television shows and things. But, I don't know, and maybe I'm thinking, I'm not a big fan of space things where there's like battles, specifically games. So maybe that's why you'll never really see me. I know I get a lot of suggestions of people saying, oh, play play this new game, or EVE Online, or this, and it's all like, build your fleet and do battle in space and blah, 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 blah. I don't know, that... It's strange, because I'm really into space flight and NASA and space exploration, but I think it's because that's kind of not realistic. It's not how I would wish the future of space exploration to go, where we all have suddenly these big battleships where we do giant space battles and blow each other up, things like that. So I never got into that. You know what? There are other games. I mean, even a little bit faster than light FTL. Even though it's kind of a, excuse me, whatever they call it, a roguelike game or whatever. It just happens to take place in space with lasers and pew. It just doesn't, the theme, I guess, just gets to me. So I don't know, I can't think of any spacefaring fictional reality that I could consider putting myself into, so Minecraft would be cool, the Lord of the Rings. Of course, the other thing, you're like, oh, I want to be in the Lord of the Rings world. Really? You want to be in a world where there are bands of these gross, disgusting orcs going around and slashing and setting your houses on fires and killing your parents? And, you know, it's all like, maybe not for that. A lot of fictional landscapes tend to have very unfortunate conflict, because such is the nature of fiction, is to have some sort of internal or external conflict that makes it an interesting, dramatic scene. So, yeah, that was a good question. Which would I least like to be in? Least like to be in. Woof. Yeah, that again, I'm not sure. Sorry. I'm too rational, or I can't get out of my head. Like if I said, oh, I wouldn't want to be in the Harry Potter world because this, that, or the other. But I'm too rational because I take it too far. I've never read Harry Potter or watched the Harry Potter movies, by the way. That was just a random decision that I chose that. I rationalize things too much. I tend to take it too far. I'm like, well, this or that or the other. If this was true, then this or that. You know, hello. This is nice. This is a nice little spot. So, yeah. I'm not sure. Sorry. I don't know, maybe that's another reason why I don't read or that much fiction or anything like that. I'll have to say, maybe the Inception world would be kind of interesting. Just because it would be cool to have control over your dreams. Or have a little... Of course, once again, there are conflicts with that, is where it's been banned, and then there's these dream junkies who are underground, who are constantly in the dream world and things like that, so it's kind of like a drug. So, I don't know. That was an interesting question, but I apologize. I didn't have too much of an answer for that one. So, but thanks for your donation, Mr. Hootlord, to Child's Play Charity over at farlandsofbus.com. Another question from a donation giver of gratitude and donationness, Bob. Bob asked a few questions. Have you considered... Oh, what? Wolfie might spawn out here. What you would do if YouTube was no longer a viable source of income? I've answered this question before, and I kind of mentioned how I had a conversation like this with Seth Bling at Minecon 2012, and it's kind of one of those things, like how, after doing this for a couple of years, how do you put this on your resume? How do you, apply this to another job situation? And I've talked about, oh, maybe there's always options. I mean, I don't know. I'm not very keen on doing vlogs or IRL videos, so I don't think I could bring myself to turning my channel or something like that into a vloggy, even though I do watch and respect a bunch of video bloggers like the Vlog Brothers, Zayfrank. I like the periodic table videos and stuff like that. So let's go to sleep here, though, and I'll continue pondering this in the morning. And awakeness. And continuing on. Right, Wolfie? No, not right, Wolf. There we go. He barked kind of in the distance. But yeah, I'm not sure. It kind of is one of those things, you know? I'm not perhaps at fault of my own. I'm not planning for such a situation. Things are going good as they are. I'm enjoying myself. You guys are continuing to subscribe and like the videos. We're coming up with new ideas. We're back in Formula 1 with Beef, doing more different games. I've got other games on the horizon I'm considering. I'm really enjoying doing stuff with the Mindcrack people, even making new friends, and perhaps considering doing more co-ops with new friends and things like that. So it's not an idea that I have in my head, Bob. So, like I said, perhaps that will be my undoing, but perhaps it's a good thing that I'm actually enjoying my time as it is. His second question was, are you looking forward to Doctor Who? Ooh, we gotta do this. There's a new companion. Actually, the episode was already released. I don't have cable or BBC America, so I have to watch it via alternate means, air quotes, and I have yet to do that. And I've been avoiding, hopefully, spoilers, although a few times on Twitter, some people didn't seem particularly impressed with the storyline or anything. So, I don't know, the last few seasons have kind of been trailing off. I don't know. I'll reserve judgment until I see the new episode. Maybe it was that there needed to be a new companion. Maybe that will breathe life into the series. Things like that. I don't know. Maybe it's time. I don't know. I could see Stephen Moffat was very good in the Tenet years, where he would come in every once in a while and do an episode. He did Blink, obviously. He did the first appearance of River Song. Excuse me. Silence in the Library. He also, I think he did Father's Day as well. That was before Tenet. That was Christopher Eccleston. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Stephen Moffat, everybody was excited that he was taking over, but maybe his strength rests in his ability to do just one-off episodes, and maybe he doesn't need, or maybe he shouldn't be in charge. Excuse me, Wolfie, I'm trying to get down this mountain. Maybe he shouldn't be in charge of an entire season storyline or anything like that. So, who knows? We'll have to watch the episode and see. Ooh, this is dangerous lands indeed. Wolfie. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it just because I don't, as you guys know, watch that much television, as I was just saying from the previous question rather. So every little new show that I have been watching is kind of a treat, if you will. How are you doing for health, by the way? I don't know. Oh, you're fine. So who knows? We'll watch that. But thank you very much, Bob, also for your donation to Child's Play Charity at farlandserbust.com. Appreciate it. I always get this question. I don't have a specific name. I had a few people ask this recently, but asking me, I've answered this before. If I speak another language other than English, I do not. Not for lack of trying. I was never... Oh, now he hurts himself after I overfeed him. Good job, guy. In high school, I wasn't required to take a foreign language, as might be more of a thing nowadays. But in college, I wanted to get a Bachelor of Arts, because I was taking art as my coursework, and I wanted a Bachelor of Arts. And to get a Bachelor of Arts, the only difference, this is one of my many problems with schools and both public school and also the university system, is the only difference between getting a Bachelor of Science and a Bachelor of Arts. Everything else was the same, but if you wanted a Bachelor of Arts, you had to take a level 300 foreign language. If you wanted a Bachelor of Science, instead of that, you had to take a single level 200 or whatever Earth Science or Science course. That was the only difference in the two. And for whatever reason, I got hung up on the fact that I'm an art student. I should have a Bachelor of Arts. So I tried to take Spanish then, and it did not go well. From the first week, I could tell, and I could tell you the moment. I don't know if I've told this story before, but I could tell you the moment. I think there's lava under there, probably. I can tell you the moment I realized that this wasn't going to work out is the first day or the first week or so. I'm sure you guys are familiar with in your Spanish or foreign language classes. You have to pick a version of your name to be called in the class that is more in line with the language. You know, if your name is Michael, then you're Miguel or something like that. Unfortunately, Kurt, there's no direct translation into Spanish for Kurt. So then you get a little handout, a little sheet with all the names you could choose, what you want to be called by, and the teacher's like, okay, choose your name, and looking down the list, I'm like, I don't know, okay, how about George? And they're like, no, Kurt, that's actually Jorge. In Spanish, the J's are, pronounced differently. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, how about, oh, this one's cool. How about Jesus? I want to be Jesus. No, Kurt, that's pronounced Jesus. Oh, okay. Well, keep looking down the list, and John? No, that's Juan. Keep looking down. Oh, this one looks cool. How about JJ? No, Kurt, that's pronounced. And that was pretty much when I realized I was going to have some problems with Spanish. So, little history, Kurt, there for you to enjoy. I know you guys like my school stories. Indeed. So yeah, that I've gotten that question a lot, but I ended up, moral of the story, I ended up taking 2 semesters of Spanish, got D's both times, so it dropped my GPA much lower than I wanted it, obviously, to get honors and things like that. And then I ended up switching over and taking the one science class I needed to take, and I enjoyed that even more. And then I ended up getting a Bachelor of Science instead of a Bachelor of Arts, which kind of sucked. Was not what I originally intended. Boats are getting on my nerves. I'll just screw it. Well, maybe I should jump down the tree. Boop. Boop. Woof indeed, Wolfie. Woof indeed. Whoop. Got little trees falling down on our heads. Boop. You can also ask your questions in the comments below, as I have some more here. Manskud. That sounds German. I should have taken German. I have German heritage in my blood, and I think German is a little bit more... It's a Germanic language, obviously, like English is, so I think the sentence structure is more or less the same, right? I think I might have done a little bit better with German. Oh, well. Oh, Wolfie. Oh, poof. But Manskuds... That's probably not German at all. It's probably something else in his username. Asks, how's the space chair going? Space chair's going fine. It's very comfortable, very nice. I enjoy it thoroughly. Wolves! And, yeah, the space chair works. For those of you who don't know, when I first started, we're talking about being on YouTube for 2 years. When I first started YouTube, I had a really crummy... Well, it actually wasn't that crummy. It was like $100 from like Office Max, Office Depot, one of those and I just kept having back problems and shoulder pains and things like that, and I couldn't take it anymore. So I'm like, you know what? Whoa, hi. You know what? I'm just gonna. There's the Aeron chair, which is a big popular chair. Otherwise, I ended up going with, instead of the Aeron chair, so I don't know if I'm a big fan of that mesh stuff. I went with the steel case Leap, which is kind of its main competitor. So it's space chair, very expensive. Oh, dang. I just filed my taxes. I should have used it as a tax expense. Although I don't know if I could have done that, because I didn't claim a home office. Oh well. Oh well. Money down the drain. But yeah. Got a steel case Leap, and it's working out great. My back is fine. Haven't had too many issues like that. It's fully adjustable. It's great. I enjoy it. But let's go to sleep and continue on with the third day in the morning. And awakeness. And continuing onness. Indeedness. So yeah, Steel Case Leap, got that. Matt Scoods continues on to ask, did you ever watch TV shows or internet shows that are Chicago-based? There weren't that many of them. There was kind of a little bit of an increase in Chicago-based movies and TV shows. About the same time, you all know that the first two movies in the Batman, the Dark Knight series took place and were filmed in Chicago. Chicago was doing this big push to get movies filmed here, and had a bunch of like tax breaks for movies and shows and things like that. But I think those expired and weren't renewed with the new mayor of Chicago. So those have kind of stopped. I really liked, and I think it's now on Netflix. I should watch that over again. There was a show called My Boys, where kind of an actress who plays, she's a sports writer or something. The only thing I didn't like is that it was based in the north side of Chicago, and they were all like Cubs fans or whatever. So other than that, it was a very funny and well-written show, but it was canceled after a season or two. I think it was on one of the secondary cable channels like TNT or stuff, something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, My Boys was pretty good. I don't know that there were many other Chicago-based TV shows that really stick out as this took place in Chicago, but that one was probably the most Chicago authentic like that I could think of. At least if you're talking about kind of the north side, the little bit of the what's the word I'm looking for? The upper class, kind of the yuppie-ish Chicago Cubs kind of side of things, I guess. That was a good show. But yeah, like I said, don't really watch that much TV that much anymore, so I guess we'll wait and see. In Chicago, really, I mean, like New York. Alright, well, this is gonna happen. Wolfie, don't fall. Please don't fall. He's going to fall, isn't he? Oh, there he is. I was gonna say, I felt a push. Come over here. Ooh, floating blocks of dirt with grass on top of them. Where's he at? Wolfie? I guess I can feed you a bone, eh? Should probably pick up some more. Woof! Wolfie agrees. He's like, yeah, more. More treats. Another question asked, this time on Twitter. You can also ask on Twitter. I am KurtJMac on Twitter. TheBurger72. Have you ever been through a tornado or tsunami? If not, have you ever been scared that one will hit you? From Chicago, I don't have any danger of tsunamis from here. I have not been through a tornado. There was one back in the early 90s. I believe I was like in the second or the third grade. One came by very, very close, and there were actually in the suburbs. Was it Plainfield, I think, got hit, and people died, which was not cool. That was pretty scary. As a kid, you're normally scared of those sort of things. I swear I think it was last year or the year before, I swear there was an outbreak, and there were reports of tornadoes and funnel clouds that were west of me, and I swear I looked out of my window and saw one of said funnel clouds. And that is interesting and freaky. I was woken up a few years ago by a tornado siren, which is never a good thing to be woken up by, and you're like, wait a minute, it's not the first week of the month. Every month they test the tornado sirens, every first Wednesday or something like that. They sound, I guess for those of you who don't know, I don't know if Europe gets tornadoes or anything like that, but tornado siren is very much like if you ever watch any of the old, World War II film reels or anything like that, or Cold War, they sound like the air raid siren. They're pretty much the same thing. Which, again, another scary thing. But yeah, the tornado siren, I'm very familiar with that sound, but I've never been in or I've never seen. It would be interesting, another aspect of being into sciences and being very much into that stuff. It would be very interesting. They do have like tornado chasing tours where you can see a tornado maybe, and even then, even if you're chasing them, it's not guaranteed. So here I am living in the Midwest. I've never seen a tornado or anything like that. And if you pretty much stay in one spot your entire life, it's like, I think it's more likely than being hit by lightning. But it's one of those 1 in a million type. Oops, excuse me, lunch. It's one of those 1 in a million type situations where you don't. It's really unlikely, even if you're storm chasing, you have to do some work, but they're likely events, and they're scary things for sure. I've gotten hail, things like that. You get very interesting. Those wall clouds are very interesting. Oh, another time that was pretty close was when I was in the Grand Canyon. There was, out of nowhere, a wall cloud came out of nowhere, and I got stuck in my car during a hailstorm, and that could have very quickly been a tornado. That was, being in the Grand Canyon, you could see from horizon to horizon. That you could really see coming. I'm like, yeah, that's a wall cloud. That's where the cloud is really low to the ground and just a big flat wall, and that's usually where you could see it rotating and churning, and like, yeah, that's usually where tornadoes come from. So, but yeah, never been in a tornado or anything like that. We've had a few very minor earthquakes in the Midwest. There's actually a very large fault system that runs under southern Illinois. One of the largest earthquakes in the continental U.S. was recorded down there. But it's largely unpopulated, unlike the West Coast, so it's not as big a threat as the West Coast San Andreas fault. But yeah, I've felt a few, you wake up and it felt like somebody pushed the bed, and I'm like, what was that? And then later on in the day, you hear that, oh, there was an earthquake. I'm like, oh, that must have been that little thing that made the dishes jingle or something like that. And that's very interesting. I don't want to say I'd like to be in an earthquake because of the possibility of danger and death and destruction and people getting injured. But I would like to be in an earthquake because that just seems so bizarre. Perhaps some of you who maybe have experienced earthquakes could relate. The earth, the ground, is something that is very, for your entire life, is a stable, solid thing. The earth isn't supposed to move or anything like that. It's the ground, but then suddenly it becomes like a liquid, and people, claim to get, they feel sick after an earthquake because it's your equilibrium is like, wait a minute, the world is upside down and backwards and all smushy. What's going on with that? And that would just be interesting for the sake of being able to experience it, I guess, in a safe environment would be nice, but you obviously can't predict those too prominently, so it's not like you can go tornado hunting. Oh, careful, Wolfie, that's a cactus down there. You can go tornado hunting, but you can't go earthquake hunting or anything like that, so Yeah, who knows? But no, generally no, no major problems I've ever had with the natural fury that is Mother Nature. In the last video, our friend Brian, Lorgon111, I should stop referring to him as such, asked, are there any, what do you ask? Are there any advertisements or memorable jingles from childhood that you remember that only people from that time period would remember? I'm trying to think. I remember the commercial for the Crossfire. Crossfire! And everybody wanted the Crossfire. I was not excluded from that. I wanted my parents to purchase me the Crossfire, which was just a silly little game where you shoot little metal BB pellets back and forth, and that's all it was. Apparently the people who did have it say it was really crappy and never worked. I remember the Crossfire. I had, and I think the ad is on YouTube, I'd have to look it up, but I had a truck that had a bridge on its roof. I don't remember what it was called, but it had a bridge on its roof, and you pushed the front of the truck, and the bridge would extend, and then it would walk over the bridge. And there was a really... Have a seat, Wolfie. Hey, whoa, no, down here, you noodle. It was very, I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to look it up. Maybe Snarky will let you know what it was. But, I had that as a toy. It was kind of one of those toys that, in the commercial it's cool, because it's like crossing over rivers and chasms and things that they set up. What am I doing? Shovels. But in real life, in your living room, it's like, you can't really... You know, you didn't have chasms or things like that, so you would just push it, the bridge would extend, and it would walk over the bridge, and that would be the end of the story. But yeah, not many things I was never into... I wasn't really allowed, I guess, to watch that much TV, so I never got into the Transformers. I mentioned before, I had a few of the He-Man things, but I can't remember, because I didn't watch too much TV, I can't remember too many commercials. I'm sure if you showed me one, I'd be like, oh yeah, I remember that, that was awesome. But yeah, that's the only one I remember that I actually have had the toy from, and it was one of those commercials that made the toy seem much more amazing than it actually was. But yeah, thanks for all those questions, thanks for those donations, Hoot Lord Bob, and those questions you included with them, and you can keep donating at farlandsorbust.com. This has been episode 232, and I was reminded last episode that we had Wolfie in episode 32, so Wolfie, well done out there, enjoying the moonrise. Woof indeed. You've been with us for 200 episodes, and plus both flob-athons. Well, a flob-athon and a half, I guess, and then we had to go back and get you. But yeah, continuing on with the donation milestones, the Farlands or Bust milestones, the Minecraft milestones, and as always, in every episode, getting closer and closer to the Farlands. My name is Kurt. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you next time.